Some aircraft can be tricky to handle, but even some airports can be challenging to take off and land for the pilot. Here are 10 such airports that give chills to passengers and test the abilities of pilots in the most challenging of ways. Number 10. Paro Airport, Bhutan. This is an airport so dangerous that less than 20 pilots are considered qualified enough to fly into Bhutan's only airport, known as Paro Airport. The Seoul International Airport of Bhutan is nestled in a deep valley and surrounded by sharp peaks of up to 5,500 meters, which approximately makes them 18,000 feet tall. The sharp banking on the approach through the Himalayan mountains feels as though the wingtip is close to touching the mountaintops. Strong winds whip through the valley, often resulting in severe turbulence. Considered the most dangerous airport in the world, flights are only allowed during daytime and under visual meteorological conditions in which pilots make their judgments by eye rather than relying on aircraft instruments. The dramatic approach to the runway is completely out of sight for the pilots until the last minute, as they maneuver between mountains at a 45-degree angle before dropping quickly into the runway. I hope now you understand why this airport is considered the most challenging airport in the world. Number 9. Tenzing Hillary Airport, Nepal. Beauty has its own dangers associated with it, and the Tenzing Hillary Airport in Nepal is a perfect example. All those people who wish to visit Mount Everest use this airport, which is also known as Lukla Airport. This airport is one of the world's most dangerous airports, and well, I can give you many reasons to justify the claim. With an altitude of nearly 9,500 feet, mercurial Himalayan weather, and a sheer drop, landing on this airport can send shivers to the most courageous of the passengers. The runway is extremely short, at just 1,729 feet long, and is surrounded on all sides by steep Himalayan terrain, with a mountain shelf on one side and a steep drop into the valley below on the other side. Although it slopes uphill with a gradient of almost 12% that helps the landing planes to slow down in time. In case of a difficult landing, the matter worsens as there is no go-around procedure because of the surrounding mountains. The dangers of this beautiful airport have forced the government to let helicopters and small fixed-wing propeller planes land. Since 1973, there have been several accidents at the airport that resulted in many deaths and injuries. Number 8. Toncontin Airport, Honduras. It's been so long that the approach to this airport has been considered to be one of the most dangerous in the world, especially when the weather tries to test the pilot by turning cold and wet. The mountainous terrain surrounding the small airport forces pilots to make a dramatic head-on approach with an extremely steep descent and a sharp turn prior to lining up with the runway. It takes a hell of a lot of skill on the part of the pilot. It's also one of the world's deadliest airports. In 1989, a Boeing commercial plane crashed into a mountainside when it was about to land. The unfortunate crash killed 132 people on board. At least 5 more planes have since followed suit and crashed in or around the airport, killing and injuring hundreds of people. A new airport is currently under construction in Kamayagua to replace Toncontin International Airport, and travelers, along with pilots, are going to take a breath of relief. Number 7. Cristiano Ronaldo Madeira International Airport, Portugal. Many people say that this airport is probably the most dangerous airport in Europe, and well, they have a reason to say so. The airport is situated close to the Atlantic Ocean, and therefore planes suffers greatly from the crosswind while landing on the runway. Cristiano Ronaldo Madeira International Airport, commonly known as Madeira Airport or Funchal Airport, is a famous yet dangerous airport in the civil parish of Santa Cruz in the Portuguese archipelago and autonomous region of Madeira. The shortage of runway was resolved by extending it further into the ocean, which has only led to further exposure from Atlantic winds to the landing planes. The airport has seen many accidents, out of which TAP Air Portugal Flight 425 was the deadliest of all, killing 131 people out of 164 on board. Number 6. Wellington International Airport, New Zealand. After Auckland and Christchurch airports, Wellington International Airport is the third busiest airport in the country and is serving the capital of New Zealand. It has a single runway of approximately 6,827 feet, and it appears that it starts and ends in the ocean. Due to the proximity to the ocean, it gives a healthy dose of challenging landings to the pilots. The airport has a reputation for rough and turbulent landings. The channeling effect of Cook Strait creates such strong and gusty winds that even larger aircraft shake violently, and the passengers, well, those must have had their fair share of adrenaline rush. The northwesterly conditions prove even more challenging. The winds make it extremely difficult for pilots to maneuver landings. Number 5. Narsarsuaq Airport, Greenland. That's a perfect landing, but just imagine what would happen if the weather turns ugly. Narsarsuaq Airport is located in Tunøyarvik Fjord in the country's southern tip and is one of 2 airports in Greenland which serve large airliners. The airport was built in 1941 by the USA Ministry of Defense, and it was one of the most challenging airports to ever have been built. Pilots must deal with strong winds, severe turbulence, and wind shear in a mountainous landscape, and this is all when the weather's calm. The short runway of 6,000 feet is another headache, along with an active nearby volcano. When it erupts, its ash cloud contains very small particles of gas. As melting ice has silica in it, it can damage aircraft engines. Number 4. Courcheval Airport, France. This extremely challenging airport has a very short runway of only 1,729 feet. It serves as the exclusive ski resort of Courcheval in the French Alps that drops off a cliff as well. So pilots need to make sure they gain enough speed for takeoff if they don't want to fall off the cliff's edge. The runway also has a downward gradient of 18.6%, which further complicates takeoff and landing. Moreover, on approach or during takeoff, pilots have to maneuver their aircraft between the Alps. Without instrument procedures, the only clear guideline is a no-go round due to the surrounding mountains. Weather conditions are one of the most challenging things around the airport. Number 3. Wancho Ereskin Airport, Saba Island. Who remembers the original King Kong movie island? That was the island of Saba. And the Wancho Ereskin Airport is located approximately 28 miles south of St. Martin, on the minuscule Dutch Caribbean island of Saba. With a runway of just 1,300 feet in total length, this airport has the shortest commercial airport runway in the world. The airport is wedged on a rocky outcrop at the foot of a mountain and has jagged terrain on one side and cliffs dropping into the sea at the other ends of the runway. So when I say that any landing on this runway is a nerve-wracking challenge. Although the airport is closed to jet traffic, regional airline propeller aircraft are able to land there under waivers from the Netherlands Antilles Civil Aviation Authority.
Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you'll get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it. It really works.
And now let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day. This image was sent to us by a subscriber. Similarly, if you ever wish to know more about an image you come across, just send it to us. Who knows, we might even feature it in one of our videos. Princess Juliana International Airport, St. Martin. This airport's runway was just over 7,500 feet in length, which puts it right on the limit for larger jets arriving, which putting simply means that in order to manage the landing, the pilots have to use every single foot of the runway. It serves for very low aircraft passing over the water at the end of the runway on arrival. This notorious airport is situated on the Caribbean island of St. Martin and is famous around the world for its low landings over the ocean. The reason for such low landings was due to one end of its single long runway being extremely close to the shore. The proximity of Maho Beach to the runway has made the airport one of the world's most favorite places for a perfect Instagram shot, as the landing jets appear to be just feet above the heads of the public just before touchdown. The takeoffs are particularly dangerous because of the huge jet blasts that create gusts of wind and sand for sunbathers. While many people enjoy that, and jet blast challenges are rampant on the beach among the tourists, in 2017 a woman died from injuries sustained by a jet blast from a departing aircraft. Number 1. Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport, Washington, D.C. It requires pilots to make a winding visual approach to avoid high-profile buildings, including the Pentagon and the White House. This serves for low and weaving turns close to the ground below. Similarly, when planes depart Reagan Airport, they tend to make an immediate sharp turn just seconds after departure to avoid the Washington Monument and White House. This is quite a challenge. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the amazing upcoming videos.